Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing this March the 23rd, 2025, 7:14 early cryptocurrency and blockchain technology video that you've come to expect, love, need, and deserve from the number one cryptocurrency insider that's mission is to bring truth, integrity, and trust, most importantly, back into the cryptocurrency sphere, in the mainstream, and then here on social media. And we ask you to hit that bell notification, comment down below to get that first mover advantage. And I want to thank you, all my members of Jabroni Killers. It's in the video description or the pinned comment below. And my subscribers, you are supporting the channel in a way that is unimaginable, and it keeps this channel flowing. You can see the Bitcoin price. We're going to do all these this morning. We'll break it down better on my lunchtime update. But you can see we bounced off of that area last week, about 10 days ago, from about that 76,000. We've had the bearish cross, and we told you, not the weekend that just passed, but the prior weekend, that we could trade between the 85,487 and the 89,255. And now we're getting close to that 50-day moving average at 89,255, and that's an area that I'd be looking at up here for a rejection, right? That's your most logical spot for a rejection. But the retracement back to the upside, that's an area that I'm watching out for as a major area that we could be targeting right now. But then eventually I believe we're going to fall back down, and I think we have to, in the shorter, very short term, maybe even this week, I think we got to hit that 74,175, but we're going to be watching it closely up here at that 89,000 and change to see if we can try to get back on top of that major resistance level. Or when we get up there, or like we're getting close to, do we just get rejected down? Bitcoin dominance took a little bit of a dive last night and yesterday. You can see it right there, down to about 61.50 dominance, which it's a slight move down, but it's a move down nonetheless, and that can help. That can help move the altcoin up because dominance is down. So people are moving money from Bitcoin into the altcoins. When that goes up, you guys know, with that first mover and Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing, that means that the altcoins are selling off when Bitcoin dominance is rising. XLM is, I believe, continues to have it did. It had a nice spike. And we were talking about that yesterday, that the spike up, which it's been trying to do for about 14 days, where this is the third spike now that it's had. You can see spike 1 was back here. It got rejected about the 13th. Spike 2 was about a week later on the 19th. It came down, and now we're on spike 3. And we were talking about we could come as high as that 31-cent level, but we've been getting rejected before we've gotten there. So we'll see if this time we can't hold on top of that 200-day at 28 cents. And try to get back up to the 50-day falling 50-day moving average up there in the shorter term this week before you get rejected. But that's an area that we've been targeting that we think could have a rejection, because then we think we're going to probably, maybe, or should come down to that, 18 cents down there, and then that would be followed by a pretty substantial rally, right? So that's what we're looking at in the XLM price. The XRP price is the same thing. We were targeting between the 100-day moving average and the $2.55 level, a spot that you got rejected by last week on Wednesday, when the case for Ripple versus the SEC, after 4 years plus, officially came to a close, where they dropped the appeal, and we pumped up to a level that we were talking about when we were back here 2 Fridays ago, working on 3 Fridays ago this weekend, and then we got rejected just below it. But then the news came out with the Fed, and on the same day right here, where you had that big hyper pump, miniature hyper pump, with the SEC ending the case. We've snuck above now the 50-day moving average at $2.43 and change, right there in the daily time frame. So we're going to look to see if we can't come retest or touch again that $2.55 level, and that's a major area. That would be a major area of resistance right there. So that's an area that we're going to be watching. Damn it, I forgot my shoes. Excuse me. That's going to be a major area that we're watching to see if we don't retest that, because that's an area that it's been major resistance for quite some time. So we're going to see what happens on that as we get throughout the week. As you do know, we are in this head and shoulders topping out reversal pattern that's given us the first mover advantage ever since the $3.40 local high that we would come down. And you can see we've wicked down a couple of times below the neckline, down as low as $1.70. I think we've wicked down to about $1.80 very briefly, where we had a big wick down back there. Yeah, you can see it way back there. I think it was early January, maybe early February. No, it was early February. It was like February 3rd. So that's something that we're watching out for there on the XRP. You can see the amp. I still think there's going to be some kind of a pump. You can see it's attempting to break out of this falling wedge that it's been in, falling channel wedge, depending on how you want to draw it. It's trying to break out of it. I believe there still should be some kind of a big pump like we see there in yellow, but like we've been emphasizing, it doesn't mean it's going to stay up there, but I still think there should be, on a reactionary technical move, out of a breakout of this falling channel. The technical target is up here near the top of the channel, and that's up there at about 1 cent. So that's something in the shorter term that we're going to be following on a daily basis, because I believe that it's oversold. It's down. It's been down as much as 80% from that early December high. So to me, this falling channel are bearish patterns, but they're bullish reversal patterns when they're a falling channel when they conclude, and they usually have a reactionary pump after they finally break out of the falling channel, but they can go on for quite some time. Right, so that's something that we're going to continue to watch out for. Hbar is attempting to have a little bit of a bounce just above that 15-cent target, and we were targeting maybe coming back up here to 22 to 23 cents, where the 50 and the 100-day moving average respectively are in the daily time frame. So that's something that we're watching out for in Hbar. And in Hbar, you can see we had that mountain or topping reversal pattern there that gave you a technical target of right there. You can see right where the right where that arrow goes down to, because the way you do that technical target, as you quickly clean this up, the way you fill that technical target on a mountain double top right there, it's from the top of the double top to the neckline, which is down there where we have it drawn, where you had a bunch of support at about 24, just over 24 cents, and then you bring that to a targeted move right there, and that's how you get down here to that 15 cents. And it got very close, but now we're having a little bit of a bounce like the rest of the market is. XTC, you're trying to bounce. We were in this head and shoulders topping out reversal pattern that you can see clearly there. Our technical target, it was down there at 0.042 cents. It got about halfway there. Now we're having a little bit of a bounce on the 200-day moving average, and we were talking about, as we're having this bearish cross, or we've just had the bearish cross for the 50. You can see that it just got below the 100-day moving average, and we were talking about that that's an area that this could trade in between the 200 and the 50 on this technical bounce back of a playbook pump based on bouncing off of the 200-day moving average. But I think you would get rejected if you got up to that 50-day moving average, right? So that's what we're watching for Hbar. Brazil has had a nice hyper pump. We'll talk about that later. Dash, nobody ever really talks about. You can see some of these smaller altcoins with Bitcoin dominance going down are starting to recover. They've had massive losses over the past 2 months, and now they're starting to have a little bit of a pump back. If we look at DGB in the hour time frame, you can see we've had a nice little pump again on DGB yesterday after we've had a big fall. So we're going to be watching the target up here at about the 0.00829 level, and we're going to get more into this. It's going to be sort of a sporadic. I'm going to do a pretty good noon update on my lunchtime this afternoon. Then we're going from work back to work at our second side hustle job tonight after we get off of work today. So the nightly update's probably not going to happen until at least 9 o'clock tonight by the time I get home. So the next couple of weeks during the summer, you're just going to have to bear with me. We're still going to do our nightly updates, but the nights that I work my second job, They're going to be on a little bit later, so just bear with me. Peace and love to this beautiful, glowing, gorgeous audience that's helping me change and bringing back integrity, truth, and trust. J. Direct Eyebrows.